about Clubhouse, a brand new audio-based social media platform that's available for you to have conversations with some of the greatest minds in the industry. I absolutely love the Clubhouse platform. I've been on it for about a week now, and it is what I am predicting to be revolutionary inside of our businesses and brands. Now, you need to know this is by invitation only. You have to know someone on the app, and they have to have an available invitation for you, or you cannot get in, which means somebody has to vouch for you and say you're going to be a good fit for this community. Now, this is iPhone only at the time of recording this, but they are currently in beta, and they are going to be expanding, so more people will be allowed in soon. And right now, it is the coolest place to have an in-person conference, a mastermind with people with really short waiting lines where you can talk one-on-one in person with some of your favorite people inside of your industry. So let's take a look at how this app actually works. Now, inside of the Clubhouse app, you are going to be able to sign up for this. You can actually save your username in advance. So even if you don't have an invitation yet, you do have the ability to access that username to save it and reserve it for when your time comes around. Once you are signed in and you are an official member, you will have your main part of the platform where you can scroll through and see upcoming events, you can see who's talking right now, and you can enter into these audio-only conversations. You do have notifications, so things that are coming up, you can check on those, and you do have calendars where you can be seeing what's coming up, and you can schedule upcoming conversations. Let's take a look at how to do that now. In the top right-hand corner, you're going to see a little calendar button where you can put in your event name. You can add in any moderators that you want to your event, which is a great way to get other people pinged into your rooms to know that things are coming up. Add your date, add your time, add your description, and then you can send that out into the world where it will reside in that upcoming calendar. Moving back, you do have the ability to click on your profile, and this is where you can fill out information about you. And there are some etiquette things we need to talk about when it comes to Clubhouse as well. So the first thing you want to do is put in your bio photo. You need to make sure it's a very clear image of you where people can easily recognize you. You want a background that stands out against your image, so something that makes you pop and looks professional. Make sure that your username is something that people are going to recognize, and remember, they're only going to show your first name inside of the rooms. So for me, it's going to display KM, not KM Robinson. Keep in mind, it will display your first name, and I do recommend that you're using your name rather than a business name because people are going to want to connect on that one-to-one human level with you. Under that, it will show how many followers you have and how many people are following you, how many people you're following, and you're going to be able to put your biography, which is my favorite part of this platform right now, because it's a really big bio. They do not limit what you can be doing here to that short little version we get on Instagram or on some of the other platforms. So I do recommend having those first 3 lines as the most important things. Those are the things that are going to be seen to people when they're clicking on your bio or when they're looking at you inside of the rooms. So you want to make sure you're listing exactly who you are and what you can do for people. Under that, you want to say things that are impressive about you. If you've been seen in specific places, if you've participated in certain conventions or events, if you have been shown off on major news outlets, you want to put all that information there. You also want to give your social media platforms so people can connect, and in a minute we're actually going to connect 1 or 2 of our social media platforms in our bio. Now, scrolling down, you can give away those freebies, you can give away things that are important to people, you can talk about any sponsorships or how they can contact you, and anything that they need to know while you are on this platform. It does say who recommended you, so whoever gave you that invitation is kind of like your sponsor for this app. They have vouched for you, and they will get the recognition as bringing you into this platform, so people will always be able to see who it was that brought you and your intelligence and the gifts that you are giving inside of this platform into the Clubhouse platform. You can also see where you're a member of different clubs, which is still in beta. They're still working on that, and you cannot create that without special permission from them. So at this time, you have the ability to create daily, weekly, whatever conversations, but you can't create your own club unless you have permission from the app. Now, you do have the ability to go up to that little cog and gear symbol, and that will tell you the things like when you're going to get notifications, so you can change your frequency. You can include trending rooms. You can pause notifications. You have the ability to see kind of those FAQs, or you can report incidents, things like that. So you want to make sure that you are connecting your social media, and I actually recommend you only connect platforms that you are active on. So I'm not really active on Twitter anymore. I did not connect my Twitter. I don't want people reaching out to me there because I'm not on that platform. I am active on Instagram, so I made sure that I am connected to Instagram because you cannot DM people through this app. This is only audio based. So your conversations with people are strictly and specifically in those rooms. Now, you can do an open room and a closed room so that people can't get into it, but if you want to connect with people on a level that's more text-based, you're going to need to go through something like Instagram DM. So connect your Instagram, connect your Twitter if you want it, and then they can go over to there directly from your profile. Now going back out of your profile, and keep in mind before we move on, this is actually a pro tip for you. You can change this on the fly. So if you are a moderator, if you're a panelist in a conversation and you recommend a link or something that they should be checking out, you can actually go in while you're talking, change your bio, and then people can click on your bio and see that new link. So you can change this as you go. If you need to remind them of a keyword or something that they need to be doing, a call to action, you can put it in the moment as you go. If they have trouble seeing it, all they have to do is pull to refresh. So pull down on the screen and it will refresh whatever you're doing. Some people change their bio photos while they're live on air, and you can do all sorts of things directly through your bio while you are speaking in different events. So going back, you do have the ability to give out your invitations. This is where you will be able to invite somebody. You automatically get one invitation when you join, so you get to bring one friend with you. So use that judicially. Make sure you're really, really wise about who you're bringing in, because you don't want to bring in a bunch of random people who aren't going to benefit the platform and are not going to grow from the platform. You can earn more invitations, so the more you talk and the more you moderate, the more invitations you will be given to then give out to other people to bring the platform. It is a process though, so don't worry if it takes a minute. Now on occasion, if you have a contact in your phone and they have reserved their screen name, it will ping you and say, hey, this person wants in. Do you vouch for them? And you can wave them in without using your invitations. These are few and far between, and we're not really sure when or why they choose to kick that out. It could be based on how many people they already know on the app, but it is not something that you can kind of rig in your favor. So if it happens, it happens. Otherwise, you just have to earn your invitations and wait for other people to be able to join you. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at our users. You can find people to follow, you can search for people that you need to meet, and you can follow them in there. Now, to start a room, you're going to look down at the bottom of the screen, and you are going to be able to click on an open room, so that means anybody can join. A social room, meaning anybody that you are following or that you have those connections with can join, or you can do a closed room, and that is just where you select the people who will be joining you for private meetings and conversations and consultations. You do have the ability to add a topic by clicking the Add a Topic button, and you can set that topic. So let people know what you're going to be talking about. Be very, very specific and intentional about this, because this will get people who don't know you to come into your room if it is something that is open, or it's something that allows people to figure out their schedules if it's more of a closed room, to make sure that they are in the proper place at the proper time to have those conversations with you. And then you will be able to choose people if you need to, and you'll be ready to go. Now with this, you do have the ability to kind of jump into conversations. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to real quick start a closed room, and I am just going to add in my other account, because I have one for my social media strategy and I also have one for my author life, and I am just going to start that room so that you can see what this looks like. Now with this, I am going to be able to mute myself. If you are in a room and you are up on the stage, you should have yourself muted at all times. You should not be on an open mic, because that means people can hear and it will interfere with other conversations. So unless it's your turn to speak, keep yourself on mute. Pro tip with Clubhouse etiquette: if you are on the panel, if you're in the stage, so there's a stage area where you can speak and a listening area where you can just listen. If you're on stage and you have the ability to speak and you need to say something or you want to add something to the conversation, toggle your microphone on and off. It's going to blink just like that, and that will allow you to... Let me add myself to the room there. That will let the moderator know that you want to be able to speak, and that will allow them to call you up to speak. Usually they will say who's going to speak next, so it's not people jumping in and talking over people, but sometimes they don't do that. So just toggle that microphone on and off, and that will give you an idea of who wants to speak next, and if you're in charge, you can then guide that conversation. So once you have more than one person in here, you do have the ability to look down at the bottom, and you can leave the room quietly. So that's that little sign right here, and that's just going to mean you're leaving the room. You're no longer listening to it. You can leave this app while you're listening to things. So if you're listening to a room but you need to go check Instagram or you need to go post to TikTok, you can do that and still listen without losing that audio. If you're leaving the room, you're just removing yourself from the room. It doesn't notify anybody. It just takes you out of the room back to the main part of the platform. Next to that, you have the ability to raise your hand. So if you are someone in the waiting area and you would like to come up to the stage and speak, you can raise your hand and the moderator can choose to allow you up there or not. It's always a good idea to volunteer, because that will help your algorithm inside of the Clubhouse system, and it will get you known by more people, which means great connections for you. So once you're done, you can toggle that on and off so that you know if you are still volunteered or not, and you have the ability to ping people. So that little plus sign says, we're having a conversation, this other person should be in there. So you're just going to tap on their profile picture and it will send a notification to them that you want them to join the room as well. So you do have the ability in a closed room to then open it up to the public if you want, but you don't have to. Of course, you have the ability to let visitors in if you click those three little dots at the top or end the room, and you've got that little lock there showing you it is a closed room that other people can't get in it, so that lets you know when you're available to have those conversations. And as moderator, you can kick people out, you can bring people up on stage, you get the ability to run the show, and you have the ability to set other moderators as well. So sometimes you'll find conversations that go on for prolonged periods of time and they just switch moderators. Anybody who's a moderator is allowed to pull people up onto the stage. You know the drill with that, so be really, really wise about who you make a moderator and who you allow to just be a speaker on your platform. Clubhouse is amazing because it has that really long bio. It has the ability to connect with people one-on-one, and you can end up in rooms with really well-known people who are just creating their own masterminds for free and answering questions for free on air. I do highly recommend that you get yourself your username saved if you have not already, and then find friends who can get you an invitation to get you into the Clubhouse app so that you can get on this as well. Pro tip here, if you don't have an iPhone, I hear that this works on tablets as well. So if you've got an iPad, you may be able to get in on this one as well. So you want to make sure that you are ready to go with this. This is an incredible opportunity to network with other people in your realm, in your region, in your business, in your niche. You want to make sure that you are developing your own shows. So I do recommend having a weekly show and put it right in your bio when you're going live and what you're going to be doing so people know to show up. It's very much like running a live stream or a podcast that you're doing on a weekly basis for people to see. If you can do more than that, that's great. And if you want to do impromptu ones as well, that's totally fine. If you can collaborate with other people on the platform, that is going to really bump up your reach and help you to grow significantly very, very quickly. So find people you know, start to follow them, show up to their live streams or to their rooms, to their conversations, and you can actually set notifications to get notified when they go into a room to speak. You can set that for every time they are able to speak or some of the times that they are speaking so that you can go and support them and possibly get pulled up into the conversation as well. I have been in a number of conversations where I've been pulled up as a speaker just because I showed up because someone I knew was in there and I wanted to go support. So this is a great way to network. It's a great way to build up your credibility. It is a great way to give free content that is gated. Not everybody can get into this, which means you can really build up and foster your community. And if you do it now before everybody can get in, you will be the king or queen of Clubhouse in your area. So I highly recommend jumping in on this platform. If you've got questions, make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell because we're actually going to do deep dives on some things inside of the Clubhouse world. We're going to talk about your biography and specifically how to write that to be the most effective. We're going to talk about the buttons. We're going to talk about creating conferences and different panels and how to do these collaborations in the next couple of videos. So subscribe and notification bell. And then if you've got questions on how to use Clubhouse, go ahead and let me know. I would love to get those answered for you so that we can build up your presence on Clubhouse and expand what you're doing on all of your social media platforms to create more profit inside of your business through specifically this brand new audio-based app. I'm so excited for Clubhouse. If you're excited, let me know that you're excited for Clubhouse down below, and I will see you in the next video as we break down what exactly you should have in your biography to excel on Clubhouse.